Good afternoon, everyone. And myself, Nagesh Gani, and I am from Shubhda Institutions. And as Mr. Raghavendra said, today we are going to discuss about 8th standard, one chapter that is very important chapter, that is the metals and non-metals. Okay, before going to this chapter, just a minute. Okay. Okay. As we know that it is very important to understand the different types of materials which are present as we know that there are several kinds of materials available in nature. It may be a naturally made or it may be a synthetic made, right? For example, just look around us. There are several components are available. For example, whatever the car is there, it is mainly made up of more than 30,000 components in it. Like that, every single parts or every single materials is mainly made up of different constituent materials or components. All right. So it is very important to understand the different types of materials available in nature and their physical and chemical properties. Right. Then we will start about the metals and non-metals, about the different types of metals and non-metals available in nature. Just a minute. Okay. In this chapter, we will discuss. This chapter covers the basic introduction of metals and non-metals, introduction of metals, physical properties of metals, chemical properties of metals, and introduction of non-metals, physical properties and the chemical properties of non-metals. Okay. Before going to this one, as we know that there are variety of substances found in nature. These can be categorized into two parts. One is the natural substances. Second one is the artificial or man-made substances. You can see this picture. Can anybody tell which are the natural substances and which are the artificial substances? And correct, exactly. These are the man-made substances, and these are the natural substances. For example, chair is the man-made substances. It is mainly made up of with help of the plastic, and this one is the again a synthetic substances or man-made substances. It is mainly made up of with help of the metals, and this one is the again chair. It is mainly made up of the wood materials, and these are the naturally available substances. These are the stones. These are the cotton, and these are the wood. Now we'll go to the what is matter. Before going to the substances, we have to go for the basic introduction of metals. All the substances contains a matter. Matter is nothing but anything that occupies a space and has some mass. For example, let us consider this phone. Let us consider a phone. It has certain mass, and when you place on the table, it occupies certain places. Hence, it is one of these substances. This phone also mainly made up of with the different types of the materials which are assembled together, right? This was explained by first time, that is John Dalton. According to John Dalton Perry, he clearly said matter is made up of small particles, that is called as atoms. Then what is atom? Atom is again consisting of subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons, and neutrons. Electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, and neutrons are is a neutral that does not contain any sign. For example, when you look the structure of atoms, it mainly consists of a nucleus at the center. It exactly look like a spherical, and it contains orbits surrounding this one. The number of orbits, it's mainly depends on the type of the materials. And this one is the nucleus, and these are the orbits, or they are also called as shell. And these are the this one is the nucleus, right? This one is the nucleus. The nucleus again, it is mainly made up of photons and neutrons, photons and electrons. Sorry. So it's mainly made up of the photons and electrons, right? And whatever the outer orbit is called as valence orbit or valence shell. This one is also called as valence orbit or valence shell. And the number of electrons present on this valence orbit is called as valence electrons. Whenever we want to join these different kinds of the components, it mainly depends upon the number of electrons and number of photons present on a valence orbit, right? This is the valence orbit is nothing but the last cell of the atom. This one is the last cell, and this one is the valence electrons are nothing but the number of electrons present on a last orbit is called as the valence electrons, or number of electrons present in a cell. What is valence then? Valence is nothing but it is the property of the material which can combine easily. For example, when you want to add water from another material, it requires some electrons present on that outer cell. And again, we have to go for the natural substances. As I have discussed, the entire nature, the materials are mainly made up of, mainly consisting of two types of the materials. One is the natural substances. Second one is the man-made substances. That is the artificial substances. What is natural substances? These are those substances which are found naturally. For example, coal, petroleum, wood, rubber, these are the natural substances. Again, based on the properties, natural substances are mainly classified into two types. One is the metals, second one is the non-metals. What is metals and what are the non-metals? We will discuss in the next one. Before going to this one, we have to discuss about the metals. We'll take one by one about the metals and the non-metals. The metals further divided into two types. One is the ferrous metal, second one is the non-ferrous metals. That is nothing but natural substances. These are the substances which are found naturally. Examples are coal, wood, rubber. These are the some of the examples for the natural substances. When you have to go for the again natural substances, it is again subcategorized into two types. That is the metals and non-metals. The metals further classified into ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. What is ferrous metals? The ferrous metals are nothing but which contains iron as their main constituent materials. For example, the car body, it contains iron. That is one of the ferrous metals. And second one is the uh, the inside, the car sheet or car hinges, these are mainly made up of sometimes plastic or sometimes it may be made up of the non-ferrous metals. Those are called as the non-ferrous metals. The best example for this one is the aluminum is the best example for the non-ferrous metals. The ferrous metal is the best example for this one is the iron or cast iron, pig iron, wrought iron. These are the subcategories of the ferrous metals. It's mainly depends upon the iron constituents present in a materials. You'll go for the artificial substances. What is artificial substances? These are those substances which are not found in nature or which are not easily get. For example, these are mainly made up of the man. Those are called as artificial substances. For example, is example chair, table, tube lights. These are the example for the artificial substances. Now we will go for the introduction to the metals. At the beginning, we have started the substances. As we know that substances are nothing but which occupies a certain volume and it has certain mass. Those are called as substances. The substances may be made up of the materials. The material may be different types. It may be a naturally, it may be a ferrous metals. It may be a non-ferrous metals. Then we will move to the introduction to the metals. What are metals? The metals which possesses characteristics of being hard. For example, the phone, the whatever you are using, it is one of the metal. It may be a fiber, it may be a sometimes it is a sheet, aluminum sheet, or it may be a cast iron, or sometimes the malleable steels. They will use based on the designs. For example, this one again one is the iron, one of the metal. Gold is mainly used for the making of ornaments. That is the gold is one of the metal products. And silver is one more metal. And aluminum. These are the best example for the metals. While discussing about metals and non-metals, we have to study what are the properties should we understand to differentiate metals and non-metals. What are those properties? When you have to understand the properties of the metals, we have to mainly classify it into two types. One is the physical properties and second one is the chemical properties. What is physical properties? These are the properties which we can just touch, or by seeing that material we can judge that. For example, pen. By looking the pen, we can say that it is the one of the plastic material. By looking the table, we can say that it is made up of the wooden material. Like that, whatever we can see and whatever we can feel, that is the physical properties. The physical properties may include touching or seeing or color. We will discuss some physical properties of the metal. After that, we'll go for the chemical properties of the metals. Right? We'll go for the physical properties. What are physical properties? It may be, as I said, that it may be we can conclude that by seeing, by touching, whether it is a metal or not. For example, the rubber is it's appear like a soft. When you have to touch this one, it look a smooth material. When you have to go for the pen, it is made up of the plastic material. This one is the tough one. Based on that, we have to differentiate. There are several properties are available. We can differentiate whether it is a metal or it is a non-metal. Now go for the one by one, the physical properties of the metals. And the first one is very important, that is the malleable. What is malleable? What is malleable? Malleable is nothing but it is the ability of this substance can be deformed in a sheet. What is that? The malleable is the property or ability of a substance can be deformed into sheets. For example, let us consider take a small piece of gold and a small piece of lead. When you start hammering on gold, what will happen? It will convert into sheet form. But when you go for hitting the surface of the lead, it will break into several number of pieces. Hence, the malleable is nothing but it is the property of the material which can be deformed by application of the pressure. That is called as malleable. Then what is ductility? Second one is very important. That is the ductile. What is ductility? It is the property of the material which can be drawn into wires. For example, as we see that we want to transfer the electricity, we have to use the wires. How to get these wires? By using the ductile property of the materials. That nothing but whatever the metals are available, which possess or which should have the malleable and ductile characteristics. Now we will discuss by using a small video so that we can understand easily. This is the one of the example. We are conducting some experiment. I will take aluminum as a component. When you start hammering this one, we can get that a flattened surface. That means it possesses the malleable properties. Now we'll go for the copper material. When you start hammering this one, what will happen? It will again form a flat a sheet. Now we'll conduct an experiment on sulfur. A sulfur is one of the non-metal. When you start beating on this one, what will happen? It will break and form a powder form. The same experiment we will repeat with help of the charcoal as the component. We can see that again it forms into a powder form. We start the experiment by using the component as aluminum. When you start drawing this one, what will happen? The aluminum start drawn into a thin wire. The same experiment will repeat with the help of the copper. It can easily form into wire by touching it. But it is very difficult to conduct this experiment by using this sulfur because it is one of the non-metal. It is also proved in a previous activity. Same as this one is the charcoal material. Okay. We conducted the experiment by using uh, malleability. The experiment we conducted by using the different materials, that is the copper, aluminum, and also we conducted the same experiment by using the sulfur and charcoal. After conducting the experiment, we came to know that all the metals possesses the malleability, which should be a metals. The whatever the material which possesses malleable, those are called as the metals. It does not possess the malleable properties; those are not considered as non-metals. For example, there is a sulfur and charcoal is the non-metal. Now we will go for the another very important the property of the material, that is the conductivity. The conductivity, it may be a thermal conductivity or it may be a electrical conductivity. What is conductivity? The conductivity is nothing but is the property of the material which allows current and heat to pass through them easily. For example, let us consider a switch and the fan. When you start the button, what will happen? The fan will start. We will supply the current to this one by using the wires. That is nothing but these materials mainly made up of with the help of those conduct the electricity as well as current, right? That is the conductivity of the material. We can check a simple activity. We can check the thermal conductivity and electrical conductivity by using a simple experiment. We can conduct this experiment even in home. We'll start uh, 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 we'll start activity so you can understand whether the given material is thermally conductivity or it may be a electrical conductivity. Let us take a matchbox, candle, and a nails. This one is the haxa blade. It is mainly made up of the metal. We will stick these nails to the haxa blade by using the wax material. We will stick the nails by using wax. After sticking these nails to the haxa blade, we will start conducting the experiment by supplying heat at one end of your haxa blade. This is haxa blade. These are the nails. We will start hitting at the one end of the haxa blade. If this hexablade is mainly made up of the metal. What will happen? It will absorb the heat and it will transfer one end to the another end. You can see that as the heat transferring from one end to the another end, the whatever the nails are attached to the hexablade, it is getting out. They are falling because of the wax is getting melted. This one is a simple method. We can check whether the given metal is metal or non-metal. If the given metal is a metal which transfers the heat from one end to the another. If it is a non-metal, what will happen? It does not transfer the heat from one end to the another end. This is one of the simple experiment we can conduct even in your home also. Now we will check the electrical conductivity of the materials by conducting by simple activity. Okay, we've seen that the whatever the metals, if the given material it passes the current or it passes the electric, passes the heat, then it is considered as is a one of the metal. All the metals which are good conductors of heat and electricity. Now we'll move to the one more very important property of the material, that is sonorous. The sonorous is nothing but it is the property of the metal which produces a ringing sound when it is heated. For example, we can see that the bell present in our home, when we start hitting this one, it will produce a ringing sound. These are the one of the very unique property of the metal, which has the which can show that the given metal is the metal, it does not the non-metal. For example, when you start hitting the table, what will happen? Does not produce a ringing sound. But when we hit the iron metal, it will use the ringing sound. The best example for this one is the your bell metal. What will happen when we start hitting this one? It will produce the hitting, or it will produce the sound like a ringing sound. Hence, is one of the very important property of the metals. So, up to this, we discussed some of the very important properties of metals. That is, first one is the we'll go for the one by one. That is the malleability. Malleability is nothing but it is the ability of the material which can be deformed into sheet by external pressure. That is the malleable. And second one is the ductility. The ductility is the property of the metals which allows them to be drawn into thin wires. In mechanical engineering, these are the very important properties of the metal. We have to understand which are the metals and non-metals. Or while manufacturing the components, we have to understand what are the materials should be used so that it can withstand the load. For example, let us consider if I want to manufacture a phone. If this phone I want to make entire phone can be made, I want to make in a single component. But it's impractical. It is very difficult to manufacture entire phone in a single component. I have to assemble different types of material inside. Hence, while selecting the materials, we have to understand clearly that the properties of the materials. It may be physical properties or it may be a chemical properties. The physical properties means there are some of the properties we can judge by only seeing or touching by in a regular basis. In that majorly properties are the malleability, ductility, and one more the electrical and thermal conductivity. Then you have to go for the sonorous. Okay. Up to this, we discussed about the important topics of metals and non-metals, right? Is any doubts in? Can anybody tell me what are the types of metals? Very good. That is Varun Patil, wood, cotton, and stones. Okay. Okay. Good. In exam, when you go for the exam point of view, in exam, they will use certain conductivity, they will give some activities so that we have to identify whether the given material is a metal or non-metal. Or sometimes they will ask the definitions like ductility, malleability, and sonorous, thermal conductivity of the metals. These are the simple questions they will ask. We have to understand. First thing is what are the types of the metals? It may be a natural material. It may be a synthetic materials. All the again the natural materials are mainly classified into two types. Those are called as metals. Second one is the non-metals. What is again the metals? Again mainly classified into two types. That is the ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. Can anybody tell what is ferrous metal? Okay. Okay, ferrous metals is nothing but it contains iron as the main constituent material. Those are called as ferrous metals. What is non-ferrous metals? These are the materials which does not contain iron. Very good. Varun given the answer is the which contain iron. It is a ferrous metal, and Vijayalakshmi which contain iron is one of the ferrous metal. Can anyone tell what is non-ferrous metal? This does not contain iron. Very good. Okay. Now tell me what are the metals and what are the non-metals? Examples. Example for metals and example for the non-metals. Okay, metals, gold, iron, steel. Very good. And I will move to the next level. Can anybody give the example for the ferrous metal which contains iron? My question is, can anybody tell the ferrous metal? Example for the ferrous metal. Iron rod, very good. Iron nails, very good. Now tell me what are the non-ferrous metal example. Which does not contains plastic, rubber, very good. Plastic. Sorry, plastic is one of the another material. It's a polymer. It is not a metal, non-metal. Rubber. Okay. Chair. It is the example for the plastic is the example for the non-metal. I am asking the example for non-ferrous metals, which does not contains iron, but even though it is a metal. I think you got the difference between sulfur, charcoal, steel again is the example for the ferrous metal. Okay, I will tell what is ferrous metal is nothing but which contains iron as their main constituent material. Iron. Okay, best example for this one is your car body. It is mainly made up of the one of the best examples. Iron. It may be a steel. It may be a cast iron. It may be a rail rod. It may be a sheets. These are the example for the ferrous metals. When you have to go for the non-ferrous metals, which does not, it's one of the type of the metal, but it does not contains iron as their main constituent, but it is one of the metal. For this example, for these non-ferrous metals are silver, the best example for the non-ferrous metal. Silver, gold, aluminum, these are the best example for the non-ferrous metal. Very good. Now anybody tell what are the non-metals? Non-metals. I think some of them say that table, very good. Wood is the best example for non-metal. Okay. Then wood. Okay. Jyoti wood, Vijayalakshmi, it is a table. Again, it is mainly made up of wood material. Other than wood, what are the considered as non-metal? Coal. Okay. This does not contain any iron or metal eraser. Very good. This is a rubber. Okay, now we go for the brief summary of whatever you discussed today. And as we know that we started with types of metals, that is substances. The entire surrounding things is mainly made up of the substances. The substances again is mainly classified into two types. Those are synthetic substances. Second one is the non-synthetic substances. Synthetic substances are natural substances. Second one is the non-natural substances. Natural substances are nothing but which are naturally available. Those are called as natural substances. And second one is the synthetic substances. These are the substances made by the man. Those are called as man-made substances or synthetic substances. Again, natural substances are mainly classified into two types. One is metals, second one is the non-metals. What is metals? Metals are nothing but which has luster properties, which are shining properties, which are good conductors of electricity, which possesses malleability and ductility. Those are called as metals. Again, metals are mainly classified into two types. One is the metals and second one the ferrous metals. Second one is the non-ferrous metals. Ferrous metals is nothing but which contain iron as the main constituent metals. Those are called as the ferrous metals. Best example for this one is the iron and steel. And non-ferrous metals are nothing but these are the type of the metals which does not contain iron as their main constituent materials. Those are called as non-ferrous metals. For best example for this one is the silver, gold, aluminum, copper, zinc is the best example for the non-ferrous metals. When I have to go for the non-metals, the non-metals are nothing but they does not contain iron or any other metal properties. For this example for this one is wood, rubber, plastic. These are the best example for non-metals. Again, the materials are mainly classified into wide variety of materials. For example, composites are there, fibers are there. But for your syllabus, only thing is metals and non-metals is there, and properties of metals and non-properties of the metals is there. Now we'll start about this is the about ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. The next class will start about the some other properties of ferrous metals, physical properties of the ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals, and as well as the chemical properties of the metals. Tomorrow we'll start about the properties of physical properties, some of the physical properties of the metals, and after that we will start about the chemical properties. This chapter is very small. It requires around 3 hours to complete this chapter. So that I will wind up today. If anybody have some questions, we can ask. If I have any doubts, we can ask it. So time for you ask the questions, so I can answer for this. Tomorrow, no doubts are okay. Varun, no doubts. Vijay Lakshmi, Jyoti. Okay. Tomorrow, while attending the class, I will use some activities so we can so that we can test whether the given material is ferrous or non-ferrous metal. I think all of you have the pen in your hand. You have pen, your own pen. You have to just conduct the experiment whether the pen is a ferrous metal or non-ferrous metal. Make same experiment as shown in the video. Just heat one end of the pen and check whether the heat is transferred from one end to the another end. Can repeat this same experiment, and I may make a small video so we can understand whether the pen is a metal or non-metal. But when you go for this one again, the tip of the pen sometimes it is mainly made up of the metal, and entire body is made up of the non-ferrous metals. Only heat transfer takes place at the tip of the pen, but it does not propagate at the end, right? And tomorrow you list some materials which behaves like both metals and non-metals. Okay, which behaves like both metals as well as non-metals. Those are called as metalloids in a periodic table. Any doubts? Okay, thank you. Okay, we can so I can after that I will close this meeting.